Yuri, keep riding the bike. I've been to Google. All those little balls in every room, are those pods? Those are pods, right? Those are not iPods, but they're pods. They're your form. Everyone's sitting on a ball, but you're trying to hatch them. I know what you're doing. I've Googled myself on there. Google/Robin/San Francisco/where are you, Google. And I went there. It's wild. It's way beyond Wikipedia, which is like basically an encyclopedia on acid. Why? Why? You know, it's weird. Google, I Googled Jennifer Aniston, Robin Williams, and they said no chance. Okay, that's weird, but why?
Okay, you've always been an amazing storyteller, actually, yourself. Why do you enjoy it so much?
Because it's kind of the original drama. I mean, it's the idea of, once man became verbal, that was it, And then the first movies were somebody going, okay, this is my first cut. Okay, the elk is running, and I kill it. And then they handed out cards after the first screening going, I didn't believe the elk. But it was like, storytelling is this, and it's the same thing that Francis Coppola said at one of the Academy Awards a while ago, where he said, like, all this technology means nothing without great stories. And everyone thought he was stoned, which he was. But he was still speaking the truth. He spoke the truth. Great white father who was making wine. But, that's the drill. The characters and stories still drive it.
Do you listen to talk radio, or have you ever...
Yeah, once in a while. I like the shows where people call in. There's also, I forget the name of this guy in L.A. who calls in. He has the host, but he also calls in his other characters, and then he has real people call in, and then his characters mess with the real people. It's kind of that idea of, you get the idea that some of these shows, radio engages you in a different way, especially the ones where there's just people talking. Where they used to have, where they didn't call in, there's just guys that, okay, we're back again, and, it's really been good, and... Reverend Gene Scott used to be, but he wasn't on radio, he was on TV, but he would just talk for 3 hours. And it was mesmerizing. But talk radio, hits you differently, because I think it gets a lot more people even than television. I think people, hit it, now with XM and all that stuff without the commercials, people are engaging in a whole other way,
The author of the book, Armistead Marpin, called you a healer. Do you view yourself that way?
I don't know if healing is the process of kind of looking at, first of all dealing with the pain and then either expunging it or kind of, opening it to the air. Part of healing is that process of, bringing the light to it and giving it access rather than kind of, pushing it away or, not dealing with it and denying it, is to deal with it openly. And that's part of the process, I think.
What most about the character Gabriel Noone drew you?
The compassionate side, the vulnerable side, and the angry side when it gets screwed with. That there's a rage and a kind of an anger that comes from him once he realizes that they have violated him. And yet, in the end, there's also a weird kind of forgiveness of her, of saying, I understand who you are. We are the same person in many ways, but you need help, and there are things out there. And he's talking essentially to the boy, but to her. And using the medium of her creation to talk to her. He's not angry anymore. He realizes in your own way you're brilliant, and to try and connect to her, and yet she's not. That's why she's going on. There's no reaching her on that level.
What's the next project for you, Robin?
Oh, what I'm doing right now called License to Wed, about a Protestant minister who has a stress test course for couples who are going to get married. It's interesting because it's kind of it's the idea of giving them this set of tools that. He starts off in the basic premise. He said, it's sad for me that 50% of most couples that get married get divorced. He said, I just want to kind of increase the survival rate by giving you, and he does kind of weird things. He kind of puts them through, how to deal with in-laws, big course. How to basically be open and discuss each other's, what do you like? Not just sexually, everything, but and then how do you deal with tension? How do you fight fairly? How do you be angry and yet come around to the other side going, maybe we're both wrong, maybe we're both right, but we had to get that out. It's all fun. And done in a well-written way and an intelligent way, but at the same time talking about it realistically. And the two people playing it, John Krasinski and Mandy Moore, both great, funny people, but yet it's all about love and kind of saying, marriage is the long program. When you're in love and, you're about to get married, you're doing the short program and it's wonderful and everything is magnificent. The long program is a whole other game.